How often do we, in our own family units, choose loyalty over justice? And we do it deliberately and consciously because we've equated loyalty with izzat. Izzat is that famous term that we use to protect the honor of the family. But we've forgotten what honor really means. We've forgotten what honor really stands for. Probably because we lack it in our lives. We are so driven by how it is that we appear to others that we don't care for what it is that we stand for anymore. Because what we stand for has to be based on the popularity that we're going to gain from what we stand for, based on who it is that we want to be popular with. So how we want to appear to society, how we want to appear to specific interest groups, or whatever it is that we want to focus on to be able to benefit ourselves either materially or reputationally, that's what we align to. And how often in doing that do we treat in-laws and daughters-in-law or sons-in-laws as well? How often do we treat them poorly and even actively work against a fair settlement with them when there's discord that leads to a divorce, that leads to custody discussions and debates and battles and things like that? Because more often than not, it's this kind of moral corruption, ethical corruption that we have within our family units that permeates through society and then ends up in the courts. And then we look at the court system and we think it's ineffective. But with due respect, I don't think the court system is ineffective. I think it's the amount of manipulators that we have that will look to frustrate legal processes for a selfish gain that make it difficult for the courts to function more efficiently. And if you just consider that for a second, you'll realize that it's not the corrupt officials in that is a problem. It's the people that are willing to pay corrupt officials that are a problem. And I guarantee you, please prove me wrong on this, but the people that are willing to pay corrupt officials to get away with something that is illegal or unjust are the same people that will treat their own family members unjustly, because they're all about how it is that they can feel powerful and authoritative and influential. Because without that, their self-worth is so low that they actually don't know how it is that they're going to find a place for them in this world, for themselves in this world, where they're going to enjoy any level of significance or respect. So before we keep harping on the fact that we've got a corrupt state and we've got corrupt government and corrupt government officials and corrupt courts and corrupt everything else, stop and consider how corrupt you are in your own life with your own families. And if you're not one of them, then consider how often it is that you keep quiet to maintain the peace when you see something of corruption or unjustness or unfairness being practiced around you against other people, because you just want to protect your peace. It's not your business. That's the problem that we've got. The problem we've got is not an inefficient justice system. It's not a corrupt leadership in government. The problem is that we have homes that spawn the corruption that we see around us that is now crippling our country and that is crippling this world. So it's time to look at yourself more than the time you take to look at everyone else. And maybe when we get more people introspecting rather than people projecting their opinions, uninformed opinions most often, on conditions in society that they don't fully understand, that they don't realize they actively contribute towards. Maybe when we get more introspection, we'll start seeing the shift, because, you know, the condition of a people is not changed until you change what is within yourself. Maybe that's something that we should think about more often. Anyway, that's my 2 cents worth after a very brief visit to the Johannesburg Magistrates Court this morning. And I think it's something that we definitely need to contemplate as a community, as a society, because we're not doing ourselves any favors. And always pointing the finger at the people that we elected into office and that we spawned from our homes that are now sitting in office in corrupt and unethical positions. Until we start taking accountability for that, it's not going to change. It's only going to get worse. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.